Jumping around in the rain. Been dumping on us all day.
What's that?
I'll just get some B-roll of it dumping on us all day. This must be why not everybody does this. That's why everybody hunts from the truck, huh?
I think so. It sounds probably enjoyable.
I'll turn my tracker on when we start heading back.
Get an idea.
Yeah, when we turn around, we'll have to make an educated guess on how many miles you think it is.
That will be in
Round
the
trip.
12 range.
I think you're probably right. I think because when I turned mine on yesterday. All right, guys. So how you doing? This is Chris here, Personal Best Outdoors. I'm sitting here and I've had a really difficult time editing this video. So been having a lot of issues with my GoPro. You guys have seen those in previous videos. It's GoPro Hero 11. At the time that I bought it, it was supposed to be the latest, greatest thing. I've used it to film in my office. Our house is like 67 degrees. Weather's dry. It'll just randomly shut itself off. For some reason on this hunt, I would be recording and it would constantly just shut itself down. There was no rhyme or reason, no common denominator. Could be anywhere from 30 to like 37 degrees, I think was our warmest day that we had there. Raining, dry, windy, doesn't matter. Straight sunshine, none of it matters. It doesn't matter what time of day, what time of night it is. It'll record anywhere from like 5 seconds to maybe a couple minutes and then randomly shut itself off. Then there'll be times that I'll film and it'll go for 10 minutes straight. You'll see in like the previous videos where I do like almost like a speed run, kind of a walk thing. I mean, those are like 10-minute clips where it would work just fine, just because I had it recording, just hoping that something would happen and I could capture that one perfect moment, right? And so what you're going to see here is me, and like I say in the video, we'd already been walking like probably 6.5 miles, 6 miles, somewhere around there. Ryan and I were literally just at that point where it was like getting ready to be midday, 11:30, 11:45, and we know that we're going to turn around and start working our way back because we've been on foot since about 7 o'clock that morning, 5 hours ish, getting close to it, going one way, and we were going to take the loop back, and it ends up being about the same distance, the opposite direction, and so we knew like, hey, we're getting towards that point where we turn around. We're going to probably plan on eating a snack. It was just dumping rain on us all day. We're literally like just talking. We're just having fun. We're just enjoying the moment. Wasn't really expecting anything to happen. And you'll see in the video, I'm going to figure out how to do a split screen thing. Hopefully I can do it. But you'll see there's like 3 trees that are kind of super hard leaned over across the path that we're walking. Right there, as soon as we clear those, we see a cow. That is also right when my GoPro decides to shut itself down. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? I will kind of go ahead and let you know right here and now. I didn't have my phone set up on my bow because it was hammering rain. Didn't want to get my phone completely wet. They're supposed to be waterproof too, but I've seen weird things happen. But what I ended up doing is, because we'd seen this cow and she was bedded down, I ended up shedding my pack. And I was thinking this entire time my GoPro's running, so I set my pack down in a way to where you guys would be able to see me come to full draw on this cow and inevitably let an arrow go. And I was like, after the whole deed had been done, and I went back to my pack, that I realized my GoPro was off. And so here I am trying to edit this video, knowing that I had that footage, and it literally doesn't exist. Because the camera decided to shut itself down in that one perfect moment to be able to bring you the reaction, the adrenaline, like how things unfolded, because it wasn't your best case, archery shot, best case scenario. She was 51 yards across the river. This river is like on a real steep bank, so we have to go down, we have to go back up. Anyway, when I got ready to take a shot, she had stood up, which was better for me because it exposed most of her vitals. And when I let the arrow go, she had decided to take right in that moment a couple steps. And so the arrow hit her kind of high and back from where I wanted it to hit originally. but she did give me an opportunity at a second arrow because she was kind of slowly moving her way downhill, didn't react to the arrow at all. And there's another part to that I'll talk about here in this video in a little bit, but she didn't really react to the arrow. It went completely through, did what it was supposed to do, and then we ended up getting, another arrow into her, and she just kind of worked her way downriver. So I ran down like maybe another 20 yards, sent another arrow at her. Things got kind of like Western. Definitely wasn't the best case scenario, but if you get an opportunity for a second arrow, 2 holes are always better than 1. Now, I will say this about the first arrow. The first arrow, though it was high and kind of far back, I think I hit a pretty major artery because she was literally bleeding really, really heavy. Would have died for sure after that first arrow. It's just knowing that you can get more in her. That's just what you got to do. Every time if you get that opportunity, you need to do it. It's more humane on the animal. It puts more blood on the ground if you have to have a long track out. There's just so many advantages to it, and we want her to drop, and that's exactly what she did. She dropped with insight. So I'm going to bring you the rest of the footage, see if I can figure out like that split screen thing to kind of show you those trees. But she literally, as soon as we pass that stand of trees, she's right there, right across the river. So I'm going to put this in here, work on editing this video, but I am going with a different camera because this has happened way too many times. Up until this moment, it was a mild annoyance. Now it's like, this is like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So just want to let you know, I'm sorry that I don't have that footage. I really was like impressed because that's literally what I was telling Ryan after we shot her. I was like, dude, my GoPro's running right now. We got like that peak moment. I mean, what more could you ask for? And then figured out that we don't have it. So I apologize. We'll see what happens in next hunting season. Appreciate you guys following along, but I'm going to get back to editing this video and get it live for you. 34.7. Well, we just arrowed a cow. She's right there. Oh, dude. Oh yeah, there she is. That leg's still moving.
Yeah.
She's on her way out.
Just found her way home.
Well,
A little Winchester-y.
Yep. It's gonna be a challenge to get her out of there.
Probably just drop her to the creek and figure it out from there.
Not sure if it was recording the whole time, but we just shot a cow across the river. My hit wasn't the greatest. A little high and a little far back. She's bleeding hard, and so we got a couple more in her before she dropped. Tried to make it as quick as possible, but we've got a down cow. Getting her out is going to be the worst. She's in such a bad spot, but we got her. So now the real work begins. This is what we get to go down. Ugh. I'm going to turn off recording. Actually, I'll just keep it going. I wish I had frickin' 6-foot legs. Slide down. Alright, well, we got it quartered out, down one cliff face, getting her across the river. Gotta go up that cliff face. We both got a front and a quarter. Ryan went back and grabbed the bone out. There he is. frickin' slogging the quarter out, or the bone out. Just occurred to me my camera wasn't rolling. Oh shit. Don't fall, don't fall. Alright. Holy smokes. This stuff looks like it's gonna slough away on me. How's your pack feel, Ryan?
Heavy.
Yeah, mine too.
And a little bit lopsided.
Yeah, that bone out's on the side.
Yeah. Maybe forward to shedding that.
Yeah. Almost to the river crossing.
Yeah.
Final push up to the truck. My legs are smashed. We figure it's about 5 miles to the truck from where I shot the cow at. I tell you what, I will be so happy to see the truck. Especially over these uphill freaking treks. Rian's got he's pretty experienced with this stuff. And he's like 6'2" or something. He just runs right up these things. Yep, he made it to the truck. Big booty Judy just fired up. Tell you what, I'm so glad I gave him my spare key. That's the last hill. Take a break, just enjoy it. I'm gonna love this hill. It's the last one. I'll show you guys how far we packed this meat out here in a second. Get up here to the top. I started the tracker on Onyx Hunt once we got it quartered out and started walking. Don't fall. This is all slippery. There it is.
Figured I'd move it. I don't think you would have been able to reach the tailgate.
Oh yeah.
I could barely get it up there.
Yeah, I parked it up on a hill so it was staying out of the mud.
Yeah.
Let's see how many miles she was.
Oh yeah.
.3.
Wow.
5.3 miles. Just for GoPro's sake. 5.3 miles. It took us 3 hours to do. Average speed of 1.7 miles an hour.
Means we got 3.5 miles to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, we gotta go get the frickin'
Rest of it.
fronts and the bone out. At least we drug all sections of it. At least, well, 2 miles, right?
Yeah.
All right, go to sleep. Good night. So we knew up in yesterday they go. Freaking spent all this time yesterday backing me out from
When it goes.
5.3 miles away from the truck. Going back for last round of meat this morning. And here we got cows right in front of us. Not 30 yards away. Absolutely insane. There's another one, probably 1.5 miles away from the truck. Absolutely crazy to me. And yet even more elk. It's insane. Like 5 of them. And even more elk. Completely oblivious to us. Probably 110 yards away. Last day of season, too bad we don't have any more tags. I just got done off the mountain after my elk hunt, late season elk hunt. I am happy to report that it was an absolute success. Yesterday, which was the day before end of season, on Saturday, had a couple opportunities. Friday, which was a lot of fun, probably one of the more productive days I've ever had in that unit. Yesterday, ended up shooting a cow. I had an antlerless tag, so the bulls and stuff, it's hard to find kind of a legal bull out there. They generally take a pretty heavy smackdown during modern firearm season, and had some equipment failures with my truck, which unfortunately obviously been ironed out during early season, but it meant we had to call our early season done substantially earlier than we wanted to, which was fine because I got selected for an antlerless tag in that same unit this year. And so Ryan and I, we were out tromping around. We probably went for about like a 6.5-ish mile walk, and we were planning on going maybe another 1/4 mile before turning around and hunting a different loop back. It was going to be around like a 13 or so mile trek for that day, and as fate would have it, I'm just doing a little bit of recording. I you know, for gathering some B-roll of us just walking and getting hammered on by rain and hail and everything, and we're talking, we're bullshitting, we're laughing, we're having a good time, definitely not trying to be quiet. And lo and behold, across the river was a bedded cow. Total distance was like 50 yards. I had to shoot across the river. She was right with us on our elevation, but it's probably like another, I don't know, like 120 feet down and then 120 feet back up the other side. And was able to kind of stalk around until I got to a clear line of shoot, or basically clear line to shoot through, and I sent an arrow. My arrow didn't find its point that I had intended for it to. I'm never going to lie to you guys about any of this kind of stuff. I obviously, you know, run a small channel, so I don't have like a big name to ruin or anything like that. But I'm here to tell you that honesty is a paramount pinnacle thing in my life, and good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever it is, I promise to always bring you guys the truth. And so this arrow, I had the Ranch Fairy RF2 on there, so the new broadheads that Troy came out with this year with bleeders. That was the first arrow I sent at her, just because it's a cow. It wasn't as big as a bull elk. I didn't feel like I needed the 3-to-1 cut ratio, and I honestly am a super big fan of Troy's broadheads, and I wanted to actually try them out. My arrow hit high and a little far back, so what ended up happening is, as I get ready to draw, I'm not sure if she winded us or whatever, but she stood up and she walked a couple steps. I was kind of waiting for her to stop, and so I knew, okay, I need to hold a little higher than you know, the 51 yards that she was at. Probably was about 52 yards, and so I held my pin a little high, and right as I'm engaging into my shot by squeezing the trigger on my release, she took a couple steps. And you know, plan A, you know, I probably, had I been using a lighter arrow, yeah, it would have got there, you know, quickly. Yeah, about the span of time that it takes a person to blink. I actually did that math. But Troy's broadhead held up incredibly well. Got full pass through, hit her kind of far back and a little bit high. I'm pretty sure it severed, you know, some kind of an artery up there at the top, kind of below her spine, because there was so much bright red blood that came pouring out of her that it was insane. And so anyway, after that first arrow went off, she didn't really react to it. The qualities of good sharp broadhead, she just kind of was slowly walking, like as if she was just ready to go, didn't know anything had happened. And I had an opportunity to get another arrow in her at probably 62 yards, and so I let another arrow go. She kind of collapsed, and just like we would do with any animal. And so my first shot wasn't exactly where I wanted it to go. Would she have died? Absolutely. Definitely severed a major, you know, artery based on the amount of blood that was pouring out of her. I wish that I had had time to put my phone on my bow and zoom in and record that. But at the end of the day, I'm not a professional cameraman, and I'm not a large freaking YouTube channel with people that are going to follow me around just with, you know, the ability to freaking film everything that I do. And I wasn't going to ask Brian to film because, you know, he's my brother-in-law, and first and foremost, we just both want to go out there and enjoy the hunt. But there was a lot of blood that came out of that. She would have died within a minute or whatever anyway, but we're just always going to keep hammering her with arrows just to make sure that, you know, her suffering isn't prolonged in any way, shape, or form. So we ended up coming down, crossing the river, got back up to where she was at. We took a couple pictures, probably be the thumbnail of this video. I will also show those pictures now while I'm kind of talking about what happened next. But we got up there, and of course we started getting to work. Started getting her kind of dressed out, quartered up, everything good to go. Getting the meat put in game bags and stuff, and you know, the usual process that everybody will go through. By the time that we ended up getting done with all of that, we had noticed that her hooves weren't looking quite right. They were really long, they were really hollow, and the top part of her hams, which normally are really full, they just really weren't super full. So we're pretty sure that she had some hoof rot going on. So ultimately, it kind of made me feel a little bit better about the way that she ended up being harvested, because she may have known that we were there the entire time. Her hooves looked like they would be pretty painful, and hoof rot is kind of, you know, an issue out here in Washington State. I haven't run into any of it, you know, in this unit before, but this is the first time I've harvested an elk in this particular unit. Ryan hasn't recalled any elk that he's harvested that's had it before, but she was definitely a rotter. You know, the fact of the matter is the day that she was shot was December 14th, and you know, like, season ends there December 15th, so it would have ended the next day. There was some snow on the ground from last night. This morning when we were going out to get the other the other half of the meat and stuff, but she would have had a hard winter ahead of her. Anybody that's ever, you know, like done any hunting or spent any time in nature in the woods knows that nature is definitely not kind, you know, with the way that she brings about death. So with this elk having she may have had a difficult time getting around and just point blank didn't want to get up if she knew that we were there, due to discomfort. But you know, we're getting to that time of year where food's pretty scarce for them, especially up there. Everything gets covered in snow. It literally is survival of the fittest. So, you know, death by starvation, death by exposure, death by a pack of coyotes, you know, a frickin' cougar. Those were all very real circumstances that probably would have been something that she would have had to have contended with this winter. And so for me personally, yeah, it's not a big bull elk, you know, 6-point or 7-point or anything like that I get to hang on the wall. But you know, it's my first time that I've ever shot an animal that I found out later on was you know, had some health issues going on with them. And so it kind of made me feel a little bit better, because I know that maybe minute to 2 minutes worth of, you know, arrows and stuff that she was going through, and the pain was drastically less on her than what the alternative would have been. Exposure, starvation, or predation, any of those kinds of things would have been a much more gruesome and painful, horrific death for her. So kind of a great little lesson to be learned in conservation. Ultimately, that's why we do it, is for, you know, to provide our families with meat, have the experience, and enjoy a sport. But a wonderful byproduct of that is knowing that in circumstances like that, we're contributing to the betterment of the species. There's less opportunity for her to spread it to other elk, and ultimately, instead of her food or her meat going to waste by rotting on the forest floor or being preyed on or being attacked by animals, it's going to go to use and feed my family. It's a wonderful story, because basically where I ended up shooting her at, once we got her quartered out and across the river, we ended up starting the tracker on my phone, and I'll show that here through Onyx Hunt. But it was 5.3 miles worth of walking that we had to do to get it back to the truck. And so we each carried every bit of her out for the first leg of our trek. So we each carried a front and a rear and then bone out, to just get everything as close as we possibly could, until we walked the first couple miles and then got back across the river. That way we knew we wouldn't need to bring our waders out this morning. So we hung the fronts and the bone out and just humped the rears all the way back to the truck. Got back to the trailer, made a couple pizzas, drank a few beers, drank a bunch of water and some electrolytes. Had some of this slumber time cider stuff that I drink for mountain ops that helps me sleep sometimes. And then it was all of a sudden a new day. I got up at around 7, which is definitely sleeping in for me. I'm normally up between like 4:30 and 5, just on my own internal biological alarm clock. But that extra sleep felt wonderful. Of course, I woke up sore and stiff and tired. Made ourselves get ready, had a cup of coffee, and then we were back out there. So it was 3.3 miles back to where the front quarters and the bone out were hanging overnight. Threw them on our packs and came out and got the camp broke down, which is behind me in the trailer. And now I'm driving back. So, but anyway, things went really, really well. It was a successful hunt. Look forward to bringing you guys more content on that. Maybe I'll do some videos of me, you know, like the care that I still need to do on the meat. I need to get it clean, dry it off, all that kind of stuff. Get it aging for a couple days in my shop with the fan on it and stuff to get that nice little firm crust on it. Let the good bacteria do its job and kind of relax the muscles and tenderize things a little bit. And then learned a lot about these arrows. I didn't recover any of mine. I got complete pass-throughs. They disappeared. I learned a lot. That arrow system definitely does not care about what it hits. It keeps going and stuff. It's just, they have a lot of bones, and I didn't get a single one of mine, but I didn't even find them in the woods. So I think what happened is they went through her, buried into the dirt somewhere, because the ground where she was at was kind of like clay. It was really soft. getting her back up out of the river once we dropped down after processing her up and then trying to get up the other side. It was one of those walks where it's like, you know, like uphill a bank like this, but for every 3 steps you take forward, it's like 2.5 steps back. So it wouldn't surprise me if those arrows went through and just buried into the clay, and there's a ton of undergrowth. So didn't recover any of them, unfortunately, so I'll have to build some more, which is fine. It's one of the risks that we run with hunting these animals. But I just really appreciate you guys following along. I'm thankful that I get to share with you a successful hunt. I'm going to go over a lot of this footage. I'm pretty sure I got like a live reaction type thing to, you know, because like I said, was recording B-roll. We're just talking and having a good time, thinking that we're going to turn around. We're getting hammered on with rain and hail. Just one of the struggles that we had to face and endure throughout this weekend. But all of a sudden, there she was. So just look forward to seeing what I can put together for a video, and keeping you guys updated with things. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear about them. Go ahead and you know, put them in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to these videos. I'm a small channel. I don't, you know, if God has a plan for me to become a big channel or whatever, that's awesome. I just, you know, it feels good to know that people that watch your content, they like your content, they're reacting to it, they're discussing it, you know, and it shows that they're interested by subscribing, because it means, hey, I want to see more of what you got, and it's encouraging for me. Obviously, it's been a minute since I posted, but you know, I own a company, and you know, I'm married, and you know, sometimes life just doesn't really afford me many opportunities to get, you know, down in front of my laptop and kind of string a video together. So more subscribers and more reactions and stuff will help me to be motivated enough to do that. Not that I need it to be motivated, but it just helps, right? So anyway, I thank you guys so much. I'll quit rambling now. I'm going to focus on the drive. I got to call my wife and let her know I'm back in service and I'm safe, and a couple other buddies that were praying over me for this hunt. So y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Happy hunting.